We have been warning about how this anti-LGBTQ, specifically recently anti-trans fervor on the right, is going to turn violent. And I mean that in a continuing fashion. Obviously, it already has many, many times, attacks, murders, and those sorts of things. But I don't want people to forget about how much hatred and anger and xenophobia has been stoked on the right. And I want to show you this video. So Stephen Monticelli, I believe is the name, posted this video of a serial protester, an anti-LGBTQ protester who just like dispensed with all the fake concerns over kids and everything and just said what the ultimate objective is.
Most of us want to kill all of you, so be lucky.
So yeah, just to be clear, that's John Fornace, I believe is the individual, a regular participant in these. His life now, as so many deranged Americans' lives, has become just being told by Tucker Carlson or libs of TikTok or whatever, this is the group that you hate now. Your entire life is hounding them on a daily basis. He stood in the middle of a group of other people, some his political opponents, some people who agree with him, and yelled into a bullhorn that I and others, we just want to kill all of you. And it doesn't look like the other people on his side had an issue with it. It doesn't look like they gasped. What are you talking about? No, it's something, something save the children, something, something drag, you know, the cover story. They seemed perfectly comfortable with him stating that all of this is really just pretext. This is prologue to what we want to do. Someday someone is gonna tell us that it's time to start shooting and we're gonna do it. We're mostly just hanging out until that point. And this guy felt perfectly comfortable to say that, knowing that he was being filmed. JR, what do you think?
Weird how bigotry and hatred and threats to kill people is so easy to say out in public now with no fear of any kind of responsibility or consequences for it. I can say because my former president said it. He said that we can do whatever we want. These people are coming to get me. So the fear is increasing, but it always responds with fear that turns into this kind of anger and directed violence at folks. Now, if this guy gets attacked, if someone says, "Oh, really?" and they attack him first, he's the biggest crybaby, biggest victim. Can't believe you guys did this to me. Look at how violent these people are. After you say things like that, it's always one of those things. They assume they're the only ones who are willing to do something after they actually say what they're gonna do to this other person. Self-defense is suddenly not a thing for them. But as long as they're the ones attacking, they're the righteous ones with the weapons and the desires for blood. Yo, man, this is straight up terrorism. It's straight up terrorism. If guys can make videos holding hostages of folks that they don't like because of who they are and where they came from and all that, and we're afraid of it, and we're worried about we gotta do something about this, why are we not afraid of this? What's different? What's different? Who the guy is saying it is the difference.
It's amazing that he would just say it so openly and not care. It's, by the way, it's not, if you go on the journalist Stephen Monticelli had other videos of the same individual making violent threats with cops around. Because again, they do not feel like the cops are gonna do anything because they feel, and in many cases are right, the cops are on their side. Anyway, how much time do we have? Do we have a sec? Okay, just really fast, just to balance it out, because I can't leave that taste in your mouth. There are good people fighting against this. There are individuals like the guy that we showed you that are terrible. But then you also have high school students doing these major protests, laying out 180 black body bags in protest in Arizona against anti-LGBTQ legislation. This is Support Equality Schools Arizona. They're coming out against these bills that, for instance, prohibit trans girls from joining sports teams that fit their gender identity, that force teachers to hand over student records to parents, even if they contain sensitive personal information, and further ones that are intended to effectively just criminalize drag shows altogether in all contexts. There are young people, activists fighting against this, knowing that they might come up against the sort of person that we showed you in that first video, but they're doing important work. And so thank you to them, to Support Equality Schools Arizona. We appreciate the work you're doing. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.